Alright, Joyce, let's have a look at your script. Consider the claim that young people today are better educated and no wiser. I think the education part is good, but the difficult thing in addressing this question is your understanding of the word wiser. Now, what is this wiser? We cannot consider everything not learned in the classroom as wisdom. I think that's a bit too simplistic. Okay, so maybe you might want to think about what makes a person wiser. So I would say a wiser is making good decisions, like decision making skills. Okay, and you not only do you find the best course of actions for what you do, you also choose the kind of information you receive, you process them, okay, instead of just accepting everything. That is critical thinking. So to me, and I'm sure a lot of teachers will agree, wisdom is a combination of both decision-making skills and critical thinking skills. I wouldn't put creativity under wiser. Some teachers may not agree with it. Okay, you may they may overlook that fact, but I don't think creativity is part of wisdom. Okay, so let's focus on your introduction first. The introduction should have 4 parts: bang, clarifying context, concepts, opposing view, and your thesis statement. Now, your introduction is very long. There's a lot of information that's unnecessary. Okay, anyway, it's aimed at measuring, comparing. I don't know what's wrong. What's wrong with this? Comparing. Now, things like this, okay, constantly pouring money, okay, it's not exactly key to our discussion, so you can just drop it. A lot of things are not necessary in this introduction. All we need is just a very quick bang saying that Singapore ranks top in PISA. Clarify the concept, okay? Singapore is indeed known for its education system. And then clarify the other concept of wisdom, okay? Yet, wisdom, which most people associate with decision making and critical thinking, okay, is up for debate. Okay, and then you talk about the opposing view. Because it's double barrel, you might want to talk about the education part first, like educated. Are we more educated? Yeah, you talk about it. And some people believe we are not educated, but you have no OV for this, right? Okay, so just say we're educated. Or some people may think we are wise. Okay, our students are wise. Okay, I disagree. Okay, I believe that we are no wiser than the past. So keep this part over here, CCE, Finland. Keep all this information for your body paragraphs. Okay, don't put them out here, because your introduction should be very, very concise. Okay. I also noticed some rambling. Okay, let me show you where some of this can be seen. Okay, it cannot be denied that we produce smarter students, some of the smartest students worldwide. Okay, good. Okay, Singapore known for this. Good. This is the explanation, right? Like, why is it that we are better educated? Education is one of the sectors that I spend a lot of money on. Yes, good. Okay, showing the emphasis for determination producing better educated. Okay, this emphasis, this thing, not so necessary. Okay, not only that, right? This is a repeated point. Okay, I think somewhere here, yeah, the large focus, okay, is a repeated point. So once you mention it, you don't have to rewrite it, paraphrase it. It becomes very verbose, and your examiners may be quite frustrated. They want to see, try to go for conciseness rather than content, like how much there is. The quality over quantity. Ever since compulsory education, all these things, okay, this is, I believe, is your example. Now, example should be short, right? And it should be packed with content that examiners are not familiar with. Okay, you see, over here we have compulsory education. Therefore, literacy rate has gone up. That's all you need to mention. You don't have to talk about they can support their families. We're at the forefront of the industry. We are smarter than those. Okay, all these things not necessary. So that's consider rambling. Just say, we have enacted laws to make sure education is compulsory, and that Ever since then, Singapore has seen one of the highest literacy rates in the world. Boom, that's it. Full stop. Okay, key things to take note of: literacy. Okay, now how they do it? You can say, oh, they have achieved it through dedicated, hardworking teachers. This one is beyond the control of the government, but they can, however, pay teachers well enough so that they can get better qualified candidates for the job. So you can use things like regardless of socioeconomic backgrounds. Okay, you could say compulsory education, making sure all schools abide by the same quality education standards, and paying teachers well to ensure high quality of education. Full stop. Yeah. What the government can control are these things. Okay, they cannot control the education. They cannot control hardworking teachers. Okay, moving on. This paragraph is very example driven. You start off with talking about CCE. No, we keep those things for the example. At the beginning, you should say that they are no wiser. Why? Okay, for all students to support their point. I do not. Okay. Optimists. Okay, believe that they are wiser. To show that they are wise, it's very hard to show that they are wise, but you can show that they are wiser than people in the past. So you could say that because of the growing emphasis on holistic education, then you talk about all these things. Okay, growing emphasis. It doesn't mean it is heavily emphasized, but at least it was more than the past, right? In the past, there wasn't a lot of focus on like CCA, presentation skills, 21st century skills, all that. Okay, 21st century skills not mentioned here. 21st century competency framework. Do check out on that if you are gonna talk about holistic education. Okay, over here, I give you some suggestions. Okay, all of which have caused disruption. Not that much, but these are pertinent issues of our time. That's it. Okay, they may or may not have caused like major disruptions to us. Over here, you just listing down things that are beyond academic skills. What are these things? You talk about. Okay, avenues for relaxation, hobbies, leadership, organization skills, responsibility. Okay, we can't just list down things that are not related to academic achievement. You need to focus on why they relate to being wise. So your only mention of wise is only at the beginning and at the end. Okay, in between there was very little link to wisdom. So what you would do, you say it improves their decision making skills. Okay, it helps them improve their decision making skills. Okay, comma, key tenet of wisdom. Full stop. Yeah. So improves their decision making skills, comma, a key tenet of wisdom. That's it. So decision making skill is just like one part of wisdom that you're gonna touch on. Here I believe. We don't say I disagree that this one. It's very confusing. Just say I believe that they are no wiser. Okay, I never teach the word disagree. I disagree. No, I believe, and I don't use double negative. Okay? I disagree that they are wiser. I disagree that they are no wiser. It's very confusing to the reader. Also, that is not your point of contention. Point of contention is wiser, no wiser. So you just say I believe they are wiser or I believe they are no wiser. Okay. Here, okay. Being Asian doesn't make us focus. There's nothing about Asian and focus on academy. Okay, I can tell you many Asian countries which have poor education system. Okay, so you might want to say like many Asian societies. Done. Right, many Asian societies. Okay, it has always placed a strong emphasis on grades. That's good enough. Okay, so there's nothing Asian about being focused on grades now. Okay, I mean Asian is such a broad term. Yeah. Indonesia, do you think they focus a lot? Malaysia to some extent. What about like Cambodia and Laos? These are all Asian countries, so maybe not so much over here. Okay, in other education systems such as United States, there's this. This is an assumption. Okay, when you make a statement like that, it may come across as you just assuming that other education systems focus on this. To make this example more impactful, you want to be more specific. What is it in United States that supports this curriculum, right? There should be a name somewhere, okay, something specific that you can talk about. Okay. And this part about okay, this kind of argument, CCA doesn't it's very, it really depends on the individual on whether they make use of CCA to develop their skills. Now, this has nothing to do with the education system. It's beyond the control of our education system. So do not bring such examples or arguments in, because they are individual decisions. You're a GP student, you must look at like bigger picture, like, is the government doing the right thing? Okay, the government cannot force you to be not pawn or force you to be leaders. Therefore, this is like beyond what the government can do. Do not use such examples that are simply how do I put it? Simply not very very personal example. Okay, it seems like it comes from a personal experience. Okay, I did read something. I regretted it. Where is that? Obsessed with grades. Okay, you might want to use the word obsessed with grades. Okay? Just another way of saying it. Okay? Again, Singapore is an Asian society. No, nothing Asian about studying hard. Here, I see where you're going. I give you a better way of expressing this. You say we have this culture, educational system where students are forced to study in a very structured manner. Okay, so being structured, okay, you can also use the word rote learning. Very important if you are doing questions on education. The kind of learning we do is rote learning, meaning just memorize, just do. Okay, don't process anything. Just like just regurgitate whatever that's been given to you. That's called rote learning. Rote learning in itself is not bad. Okay, what is bad about it is most people would think it discourages creativity and self-expression. So you want to bring in, okay, our learning style, rote learning, discourages creativity and self-expression. Full stop. That's all. Okay. The more you say, like shoving facts down students' throat, we don't have to know how this is done. This is very, very verbose, very, very lengthy. Just say rote learning, done. Okay. It will have captured everything that you mentioned here. You don't have to describe it. Here, this system has been used since this sort of writing, right? You are using kind of you are giving statements that are not exactly helping you to prove your point, right? So you can just drop this whole thing. Like, it has been used for a long time. So how is that? How does that prove that we are wiser or not wiser? Okay, just say that the system has resulted in students not trying. Okay, then that's good enough. If you want to use, it has been used for a long time, right? Just use the word, this long-standing system, this long-standing practice has resulted in students not trying and learning. Okay, it's good enough. Over here, I would say, because it discourages creativity, it doesn't help us improve or boost our self-awareness. Very important thing in education is self-awareness. The students know themselves well enough to make decisions that are good for themselves, or just follow the crowd. Over here, you could talk about self-awareness. Now, I don't know exactly how Finland's education system makes them wiser. So you need to tell me how Finland's education makes. It's quite dangerous to compare, unless you can prove that, wow, Finnish students are wiser, they make better decisions, they are more critical. Right? So you need a piece of fact to support that assumption. So don't compare with other countries. That's my advice for this particular question, right? Compare with the same country, Singapore, but the past. Okay, so you could say students today are no more self-aware than Singapore students in the past. Okay, now again, you talk about resilience, responsibilities, and all that. They are not exactly related to wisdom. Secondly, these things, okay, how can you prove that we are not resilient or not responsible? It's very hard to prove that we are not resilient and not responsible. Okay, so you gotta prove the opposite. If you can prove that we are very irresponsible or we give up very easily, okay, then that's good. Okay, proving the negative is difficult, like I always mention. So you got to prove the opposite. How we are, Singapore students are known to be the least resilient in the world. Okay, okay, then good if you can prove that. Or you just say Singapore students have been, okay, the older generation have often complained that Singapore students are the strawberry generations. Okay, they cannot take hardship, they cannot overcome difficulties in life. Okay, good enough. Even that is a form of example. Now you don't have statistics to prove resilience. Never mind. You can use observations. Okay, many experts or many many adults or many people have complained or have reflected that the younger generations lack these things. Then good enough. Okay. Okay. The rest of it is okay. So my key thing for you is key takeaway. Use fewer words. You have 1,500. Double that they require. They ask you to write 500 to 800 words, right? So 800 times 2 is 1,600. You're almost reaching 1,006. Do not write that long unless you have really solid points to give. Okay. Most of the time, shorter scripts can do better than longer scripts. Okay. Over here, you don't use a lot of phrases, vocabulary that are related to education. So like rote learning. What else did I talk about? Literacy rate. Our literacy rate is like 98% in Singapore. Meaning ability to read. Okay, and yeah, some words like rote learning. What else? Pedagogy. Our pedagogy. You can talk about that. Okay. Then the other thing is your understanding of the word wiser. You need to unpack this further. You need to keep bringing up these words: decision-making skills, critical thinking skills. If you ask me, are we wiser than the past? I think we are in some ways. Critical thinking skills have improved a lot as compared to the past, because the Singapore government has conscientiously embed these skills, critical thinking skills, okay, into the curriculum, okay, through many means. Okay, your general paper is one of them, but don't use general paper because you're writing about general paper. Okay, it's something that every student can talk about. Okay, talk about other things like your CCE, where they talk about fake news, how to evaluate one piece of news. Okay, how to tell fake news from real one, how to differentiate falsehood. All those things count in critical thinking skills. And that's it. Yeah, those will be my suggestions for you. Let me see if I've missed out anything. Yeah. Okay. Now, all right, Joyce, have a look at this. I would suggest you revisit the content booklet on education. There is one part on the different glossary for education. Okay, look at that part. Okay, I believe rote learning is one of them. Is in there.